Back? Law Murray was right? What is happening here? Kawhi Leonard was ruled out earlier today on the injury report for tomorrow's game against the Atlanta Hawks. And now Chris Haynes just put up a video where apparently Kawhi is going to be back tomorrow. I don't understand. Can you be back after you're ruled out on the injury report? I don't understand. I'm texting Chuck Mockler, seeing if he wants to come on. I don't know if he's starting to stream too. This is great if it's true. I didn't see this coming. I thought it was over. I thought if you're out on the injury report, you're out for the next day. Is that not true? Does anybody know this? Am I freaking out? Maybe a little bit. I don't understand. I thought, okay, can we get some clarity? Can we get some clarity on this? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. But I'm here for it. I'll pod with you guys for the next 20 minutes or so. I'm at a friend's house. Shams had it too. Shams put it up as well. What's going on? What is going on? Oh, I'm texting Chuck. This is nuts. So Shams just put out Los Angeles star Kawhi Leonard plans to make his season debut Saturday versus the Atlanta Hawks at Intuit Dome. Sources tell ESPN. Clippers upgrade Leonard to questionable tonight. Okay. It's back on. It's on, baby. Here we go. It is happening. Kawhi is playing tomorrow against the Hawks. Now I'm excited and a little bit nervous, but mostly excited. Mostly very, very excited for this. All right. I don't understand. I'm going to hit up Law Murray, see if he wants to come on and talk about this, because I thought the target date was today and then it wasn't, but Law was right. I don't know. I don't know what's happened. I really don't know. I did not expect this after the injury report earlier today. But it is a good surprise. This is what we wanted to see. I'm going to tell Lawbury you can come on. This is huge news, Clipper Nation. News I was not prepared for. So, now, Joey Lynn was simply putting out what the PR put out with the injury report. No, Joey Lynn wasn't wrong. The injury report earlier said Kawhi was out. So he reported that they were out. Or Kawhi was out. Now he's upgraded to questionable, apparently. Just like that. So there must be... Brad Turner of the LA Times now is saying, Clippers source said the team is hopeful Kawhi Leonard will play Saturday against the Hawks and that they will assess him in the morning. So now we're getting something different. Brad Turner said something different than what Shams said. Shams said something different than what Law Murray said, or than what Chris Haynes said. And Law Murray had it first. I'm trying to keep up here. This is breaking in real time. Uh, Dr. Shapp said Kawhi's team and Clippers trying to figure it out. I don't really know what's happening here, but Shams Charania put it out that he plans to make his season debut on Saturday, and Chris Haynes is saying the same thing. So why did the team have him listed at or as out earlier? And now he's listed 10 minutes ago as questionable. Okay, if I go on Twitter and I check who had it first between Chris Haynes, the Clippers PR, I'm assuming, put this out first. This is interesting. I'm going to check Chris Haynes because that was the first tweet that I saw. So it's all timestamp on X. He put it out 13 minutes ago. So he put it out before the Clippers PR injury report that now says Kawhi Leonard is questionable. Chris Haynes had that out first. That is interesting. He has been well sourced with Kawhi for some time. All right, guys. Yes, I know the Chris Haynes put a video. I'm checking to see what came first, the Clippers PR tweet or the Chris Haynes video. It was the Chris Haynes video. Then 2 minutes later, Clippers PR put out that Kawhi Leonard is now upgraded to questionable. So that's all I need to see. Brad Turner of the LA Times is saying, yes, they're going to assess in the morning. I'm good with it. I'm happy about it. Will Updike saying, how does this even happen? I don't get it. So it sounded like it was a no-go, and now it is. It's the nature of the game, says Bonesaw, referencing the recent Kawhi New Balance commercial. And La Murray said this was the day a week ago. And then earlier today, he was out on the injury report. He said the target date had moved. But now, Chris Haynes, Shams Charania, Brad Turner of the LA Times, and most importantly, the Clippers have upgraded him to being questionable. He's no longer out. He's questionable. I told you yesterday, or was that earlier today? Yeah, earlier today. I've done too many of these. If he's anything but out, then I have hope for him playing. Upgrade to questionable. I mean, this happened recently with a player against the Clippers in Aaron Gordon. Starting from out, then he went to questionable, and then he ended up playing that night in his first game back after he came back from injury this season at Intuit Dome against Clippers. This is... wow. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get Law on. I'll just be able to read what he reports now on his X account. If you guys see anybody else is the GOAT Woj coming out of retirement for this? Prayers up for Adrian Wojnarowski, of course, the best to ever do it. He's missed in times like these. This is breaking news. Kawhi Leonard, according to Chris Haynes, according to Shams Charania, will be playing tomorrow against the Atlanta Hawks. So, yeah, root for Hawks and Lakers going into OT. This is incredible. I really didn't think anything was going to change tonight. And now it has. It is happening. Somebody showed the Steve Carell, The Office gif of, okay, it's happening. This is gonna be fun. As you can see, I'm not at the office. I'm not at my place. This ain't Clippers Talk After Dark. I'm at a buddy's house. I was just eating some ice cream from Handles, and now I feel like there was reason to get that ice cream and celebrate. Nick Ramos said Law Murray haters in shambles. No. Then we got the misinformation people here. Deca Fantastic saying this. That's not all Law Murray said. He said the target date has moved. Do you need me to show it to you? I'm going to share the screen. Y'all got to come with the right information here. Target moved. Kawhi Leonard will not come back versus Hawks, but Terrence Mann will be available after missing time with fractured finger. Law put that out after the injury report said Kawhi Leonard would be out. He didn't just retweet what I said, as you were saying, my guy, Deca. Not so fantastic on that one. Ryan Tears said Hawks back-to-back is a nice game to choose. Miles Johnson said Haynes said Kawhi wants to go, but the Clippers want to be cautious. Maybe there's something to that. Kawhi's camp's ready to go. I'm guessing they're on the same page. Of course, the Clippers want to be cautious. It's just really unexpected. But expect the unexpected with Kawhi. He's back when he's back. He's ready when he's ready. When he's on the court and in the starting lineup tomorrow night, we'll all believe it together, right? Thank you for confirming that I'm right as I posted the actual tweet. It's all good. There is a lot going on, Deca. It's hard to keep up. Breaking news, Kawhi Leonard is expected to go tomorrow. I'll play the Chris Haynes tweet for you guys. Let's start from the beginning. All right, here was the first person to be on the top of this. It was Chris Haynes. Sources say Los Angeles Clippers superstar Kawhi Leonard is expected to make his season debut on Saturday against the Atlanta Hawks, and we can hear from him right now.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Haynes, and this is your Haynes Brief. I just received word that Los Angeles Clippers superstar Kawhi Leonard is expected to make his season debut tomorrow, Saturday, against the Atlanta Hawks. Kawhi's been out up until this point with that right knee injury. I'm told he's feeling good. He wants to go tomorrow. The Clippers want to be cautious, but the expectation is that Kawhi will make his return.
The expectation is that Kawhi will make his return. Now we move to Shams Charania. No longer of The Athletic, now with ESPN. Here's the tweet that he put out. So we just try to cover everything here appropriately. So, Los Angeles Clippers star Kawhi Leonard plans to make his season debut Saturday versus the Atlanta Hawks at Intuit Dome. Sources tell ESPN. Clippers upgrade Leonard to questionable tonight. Now, the PR tweet about him being questionable came out 2 minutes after the Chris Haynes tweet. So he knows somebody because he had it out there first. This is big time. This is one way to break the news. The okie doke. Will he, won't he? He will. The expectation is that he will be playing tomorrow. Then we get this from Brad Turner of the LA Times. More news. This tweet, and I'll bring it up as well as we try to put all this together, is Clippers source said the team is hopeful Kawhi Leonard will play Saturday against the Hawks and that they will assess him in the morning. Maybe that ties in with Clippers want to be very cautious from Chris Haynes. They want to assess him in the morning. But obviously, from Kawhi's camp, with everything we have heard, going back to what Law Murray said a week ago, this was the target date. This is what they expected. So let's say Kawhi, let's say he's playing tomorrow. Let's go with that. He's playing tomorrow. I'm not going to go against all this reporting. This is more than scuttlebutt at this point. These are the sources you look for. These are the people, and we double sourced it. So, what are your expectations, Clipper Nation? Guys, Joey Lynn was going off of the Clippers PR injury report. That's all that is. I don't think he wasn't going off of, let me read this. Yes, he's going off of the same thing that I am. The Clippers have officially changed Kawhi Leonard's status to questionable for tomorrow's game against Atlanta. Joey Lynn just put that out. He's literally reading the same injury report coming from the Clippers that we all read it earlier today that said Kawhi Leonard was out for tomorrow's game. So when you keep saying, Joey Lynn said he was out, Joey Lynn said he was out, he's repeating what the Clippers said. He was listed as out earlier today. Now he is listed as questionable. So you're saying there's a chance. Okay, these expectations are a little bit much. Chung said Kawhi's 60-piece game winner. So if we look back to when he came back from the ACL, that was October 2022. I went through his first 8 games, and Kawhi obviously didn't look like himself at first. He looked like somebody that was trying to figure it out. And the reason I bring that up is because the obvious comp to what he could look like tomorrow. But that's coming off an ACL. There was no structural damage. It was swelling. We haven't seen him in a ball game since game 3 against the Dallas Mavericks when he did look like a shell of himself, when he probably shouldn't have been playing. And I was going, okay, after game 2, obviously his knee did not respond the right way because I felt like game 2, he looked okay. He looked rusty. The first game he played against Dallas. Game 3 was a completely different thing. He couldn't move right out there. And when he was hanging from the rim and afraid to drop to the floor after Paul George threw him that alley-oop for some reason for a guy with a knee injury, he went up and got it. But he was swinging from the rim and was waiting for his momentum to stop so then he could fall to the floor. And you could tell he didn't want to feel the impact on his right knee doing that. And what's interesting is the officials, the refs, they did not give him a technical for hanging on the rim because they knew it was because he was hurt, because he was playing hurt, and that was the reason for it. They showed him mercy. They went spirit of the law over letter of the law. Appreciate them for that. That's the last time we saw Kawhi Leonard in a ball game. We saw some footage from Team USA. Obviously, he was sent home shortly afterwards. Coach Lue admitted this a couple of months ago. There was a setback. We have not heard that there was a setback since then. But Coach Lue, first of all, thought he'd be at training camp. Then maybe like 3 weeks ago, he was asked about, did you think you'd not have Kawhi for this long? And he said no. So his expectations were he was going to be back sooner than this. Whether that means, if you want to define it, if it's semantics, it was a setback or not, or if it just took longer than they originally thought, the process of recovering from the knee injury. However you want to frame it, fine. I do know this. What he said at Media Day to Young Masuk, who asked him about if this is something you're going to have to manage forever, Kawhi basically admitted, yes, it can get like that. But they think they have a handle on it now. They think they know what they have to do so it doesn't flare up over and over again and swell up. The issue is nobody knows how it's going to react to 5-on-5 NBA action. You can simulate everything. You can do all the workouts. You can do the 5-on-5 stuff. We're not going to know until he actually is out there and there's live bullets flying. Getting on the court is half the battle for Kawhi. Staying on the court is the other half. This has always been my concern, going back to the original injury back in late March and early April. I was trying to tell people then, like, I'm not worried about him trying to play in the playoffs. I'm worried about how his knee's going to respond afterwards. It didn't respond well. So now we have to hope that tomorrow in limited time, he'll be on a minutes restriction. Coach Lou has already said that, of course. How could he not be? It's Kawhi. He's coming off another season-ending knee injury. You just got to hope that he's moving better than what we saw in Game 3. Hopefully finds enough of a rhythm in his limited time and is able to make an impact. But I do want to say, temper the expectations, because when he first came back, the first 8 games with the coming off the ACL in late 2022, his first 2 games back, he was on a minutes restriction, and he was coming off the bench. I don't expect him to come off the bench tomorrow. I expect him to be in the starting lineup and Chris Dunn coming off the bench. I think it's going to be James Harden, Norman Powell, Kawhi, DJ, Big Zoo. That's what I expect to be the starting lineup tomorrow, and the starting lineup moving forward when they are healthy. I think Chris Dunn is the guy who's going to be coming off the bench because DJ is the bigger, taller, lengthier, more versatile defender out there that can guard up more. Even though Chris Dunn is great and he's kind of a specialist against guys on the perimeter, like DJ can guard Trae Young. He can guard Hunter. He's just somebody that gives you more options on the defensive end. I just want to caution everybody, though. Send some prayers up that not only can Kawhi play, but he recovers and responds well from playing. That's what we need. That's ultimately what this is all about. So his first 8 games, going back to what I was talking about off the ACL, he was averaging like 12 points per game on 40% shooting from the field and 15% shooting from 3. It took him a while to start getting his legs back to where he was elevating on his jumper. And then there was a game against the Boston Celtics in December coming off the ACL where he had 25. It was a big game at Crypto, and he started to look like himself again. And then very shortly, within the next 2 or 3 weeks, he was back to averaging like 27 a game. So that's what I'm talking about with Kawhi and reasonable expectations of what he could look like initially and how the build up to getting back to looking like himself, how long that could take. Again, that's coming off an ACL. That's different. Maybe it's not as restrictive with the amount of minutes they're holding him back from playing early on. We'll see. Adam R. said, "What are you talking about, Adam?" Pay attention, Adam. What do you think I'm talking about? Kawhi did not look like Kawhi coming off the ACL for, of course, he had the first 2 games he played against the Lakers, against Phoenix. Then he had that stiffness when they went to OKC, relax, and he warmed up pregame and there was stiffness in his right knee. Then he missed 3 weeks. Then he came back. Then he had an ankle. But eventually, by January, he was Kawhi again. That's what it looked like coming off the ACL. Adam R. said, if Kawhi could just play the rest of the season at 60%, we are creating some separation from other teams, and I see ourselves at a much higher seed, 3 or 4, baby. Joshua said, "What's with this questionable BS? Why don't they just say if he's playing or not?" So just relax, man. My God. I think the tickets for that game are sold. Okay, I don't think this is a tactic to sell any tickets. I think they're sold at this point. Stump said minimum third seed is possible with Kawhi back. You got to understand though, he's not going to be playing any back-to-backs. He's not. That's just not going to happen. And you don't want him to. So I'm trying to think how many back-to-backs they probably have left. I would guess 8 or 9 instances of back-to-backs. At least 8 left. So that's 8 games he'd be missing right off the top because he's only going to play one end of the back-to-back. I know Kawhi will be on a minutes restriction. I don't think. I know he will be. People are saying Kawhi vetoed it. I don't. You can't veto anything. Like the team, if you have to protect players from themselves. Kawhi wanted to play after Game 3. They had to shut him down last year in the playoffs. Lawrence Frank had to come out and say, "No, he's done." That's how it works. Johnny Tears said, "Has there been any reporting on his practicing with the San Diego Clippers?" Just from what Law Murray told me yesterday. Chunk, chill. I can play that audio for you again here. So, why not? I'll do it again. This was Law Murray pregame yesterday on with me before the Clippers lost by 18 to OKC, where he mentions about the practicing and the practice sessions with the G League team. Intuit Dome, the Clippers. Saturday night back at Intuit Dome, the Clippers will be taking on the Atlanta Hawks. So, Law Murray, it begs the question, is Kawhi Leonard still on track to be available to go in his first game this season on Saturday?
Well, when I reported last week, there was a target date. That's all I could really say. And that's not something that the organization is pushing or anything like that. That's Kawhi's target date. And we know that just because Kawhi feels like he's ready or has a date circled, that doesn't always work out. We've seen that across the league with a lot of guys. You know, they've had their ramp-up period. They might feel like they're ready, and then it doesn't work out. So but I will say he hasn't been ruled out. That is a positive as far as I'm concerned. And, you know, when you look at what's happening, he got to practice with the G League team, and that was a pretty big deal. He went through multiple practices. Sound like it came out pretty well with that. And so we'll have to see if the team is willing to put him out there for Saturday night. So I'm just going to say that's a lot there. All I'm saying really is nothing has changed.
So Law said he went through multiple practices to answer your question with the G League team. Yeah, this information was coming from Kawhi's side, it sounded like. That it was his team's target date. So the thing is, if the team doesn't think he's ready, they can hold him back. Now, you can argue, well, he's a superstar, player empowerment. Can they really do that? I think they have in the past. You got to protect players from themselves. I'm just guessing, though, based upon all the reporting going on now about him playing tomorrow, it's happening. It is happening. I don't see how it doesn't, unless, you know, he had some individual workout today and then he wakes up tomorrow and things aren't great, because that's the report coming from Brad Turner of the LA Times. Brad Turner is saying that Clippers sources said the team is hopeful Kawhi Leonard will play Saturday against the Hawks and that they will assess him in the morning. So he's added that to the conversation. They will assess him in the morning. So barring anything going wrong there, I think Kawhi's playing tomorrow, guys. It's looking like there's a real good chance Kawhi's playing tomorrow. I would be, look, I was shocked earlier tonight that this news came out after it said he was out on the injury report. So I guess I can't be too shocked if all of a sudden it goes the other way tomorrow, but I'd be shocked if he's not playing tomorrow night. Do you think his team would want to protect him as well, or are they just yes men? Yes, I think his team wants what's best for Kawhi. Like, I don't think Kawhi is going to rush back. He's too smart about this. He's in tune with his body. He always listens to the doctors. He has talked with reporters in the past at pressers saying, like, nobody in here is a doctor, so it's hard to talk about, the intricacies of what's going on with his knee. I think he trusts the medical experts. Where's the Woj bomb? We're thinking about Woj. He's been going through it. He's been battling his own illness. But yeah, it is kind of strange when something like this. Did I watch the Chris Haynes report? I played it already on the channel. You think I'd be talking this much about it without doing that? Oh, God. Some of the questions I get in here. So, temper expectations. Again, I don't see him playing more than 25 minutes. Probably closer to 20. Because that's what he was at coming off the ACL. They're going to be overly cautious. There's no need to RIP Woj. What are you guys doing? And when he came back from the ACL, he was averaging like 12 points per game. The efficiency wasn't there. He didn't look like Kawhi. Everybody kept saying, oh, this is Jordan's, MJ's Wizards years and things like that. Well, Timothy, expect that I would have played that Chris Haynes video. Do you know me? Do you even Clippers talk, bro? Stuff, appreciate you. Thank you, my guy. I do it for the people in the back. I do it for Clipper Nation. I'm happy to. I told you guys earlier today, if any news broke, we'd be here on Clippers Talk. Well, it did. Maybe I should hit the reset because Timothy got in here late. I know more people are joining now. But Chris Haynes was first on this, even before the Clippers injury report came out that upgraded him from out to questionable. Chris Haynes, he has the NBA Jam Arcade 1-Up cabinet too. I have the same one. I was just playing it last night. Sorry, I got distracted there. I'm a big fan of Chris Haynes, by the way. Really nice guy. Here he is, 8:27 p.m. Pacific time.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Haynes, and this is your Haynes Brief. I just received word that Los Angeles Clippers superstar Kawhi Leonard is expected to make his season debut tomorrow, Saturday, against the Atlanta Hawks. Kawhi's been out up until this point with that right knee injury. I'm told he's feeling good. He wants to go tomorrow. The Clippers want to be cautious, but the expectation is that Kawhi will make his return Saturday against the Hawks. Against the Atlanta Hawks. Kawhi's been out up until this point with that right knee injury. I'm told he's feeling good. He wants to go tomorrow. The Clippers want to be cautious, but the expectation is that Kawhi will.
The expectation is that Kawhi will make his return Saturday against the Hawks. What more do you need? I think it's happening. Sorry, Bill Simmons. Says Alex Webb, who predicted he'd be back before Christmas. All right, my guy, Om Young Masuk. He is reporting now. I see the tweet. I will post it here for you guys to see so we all know I didn't get Ballsack Sports or something. Ohm said Kawhi Leonard will still be assessed in the morning and are hopeful he will be able to make his season debut tomorrow against the Hawks. So he is saying the same thing that Brad Turner is saying. So now we've double sourced that. He's going to be assessed in the morning. Everything goes well there, he's playing tomorrow. That's it. That's all we're waiting for. So yeah, I'd be surprised if he's not playing tomorrow. And that's a good place to be, right? Better than where we were earlier today. Chuck Mockler and I were doing Eclipse and Dip live after the injury report said that he was out. It was deflating, anticlimactic. After what we had heard from La Murray, who did say this was the target date all along from Kawhi's side. This is what they were looking at. Yeah, Christmas came a little bit late. So, one more hurdle, one more box to check. Yawning Tears said, so unless he sleeps on it wrong. Basically, but if he did a workout today and they're checking to see if it swells up in the morning or by tomorrow, that might be something they're looking at. But I think he's playing tomorrow, guys. I'm feeling pretty good about it now. Nick Ramos said, never a boring day in Clippers fandom. We got the report from Shams as well. Don't want to overlook him. He's trying to fill those big shoes from Adrian Wojnarowski. Let's see here. This is what Shams put out. Los Angeles Clippers star Kawhi Leonard plans to make his season debut Saturday versus the Atlanta Hawks at Intuit Dome. Sources tell ESPN. Clippers upgrade Leonard to questionable tonight. Plans to make his season debut. Plans to. That's different than will. And maybe the hang up there is he didn't include the part where they're still going to assess him in the morning. Hopefully, no issues there, and then we can all celebrate. Amin said, when it said Kawhi was out, I was starting to think Kawhi would never be back, LOL. Alex Webb said, bringing my Santa Claus bobblehead to the game. Gamer Dude said, Adam, do you have a Clippers collection? Collection of what? Headwear? Tom Raines said, please, let's get some positive luck for the Clippers and Kawhi for once. Please, basketball gods, bless us. Smile upon us for once. Yes. I'm trying to see if anybody else has posted anything. Oh, this is good news. This is good news. Share the good news. Spread the good news. Kawhi should be playing tomorrow night at Intuit Dome. I expect a packed house. I gotta get back to this Atlanta Hawks game. I was doing some scouting. Anybody got the score? Let's see. Lakers up. 85-78. Yeah, I don't like that. Come on, Atlanta. Pull through. We don't want them to come into it too desperate for a victory tomorrow. We want them to beat the Lakers tonight. Gamer Dude said bobbleheads or posters. Oh. In terms of my Clippers collection, I have a couple different Kawhi bobbleheads, including the Black Panther one, which is my favorite. Rip Chadwick Boseman. And I have Kawhi Snow Wasset shoes, which he released, I think, in December of 2020. Yeah, I got some stuff. Alex Webb said, Hawks going down to the wire, so likely heavy minutes for their main rotation, guys. Yeah, there is that. Whoa. The Mavs, Rockets, and Nuggets all lost? Memphis might lose too? Yeah, seriously. This has to be one of the few times where the Clippers get the team second in the sloppy seconds after the Lakers play them first. Is that the Intuit Dome effect? Because it felt like every time at Staples Center or at Crypto, first the Clippers would get a team fresh and then soften them up for the Lakers the next night. All right. Don't expect 30 from Kawhi tomorrow. Hopefully he gets 10 to 12 points. Hopefully he's got good lift on his jumper in the mid-range and shows some explosiveness. But it's going to take time. Go back. Look at the numbers. When he's coming back from the ACL, it took time for him to feel right again. And then clicked in, and he's averaging 28 a game for a month. That's what happened. The good news about Kawhi Leonard is, so far, every time he has come back from an injury, he has only gotten more and more efficient on the offensive end. Every time. It's incredible. And it underscores the work that he puts in. The guy is a machine. He is one of the hardest workers ever. He didn't have an offensive game when he came out of San Diego State. I was just watching. It's funny. Yesterday, I got caught up on YouTube going down a wormhole, watching him in 2014 in the finals for the Spurs. And just, how more rigid his shot was and how less fluid it was. He was still the finals MVP. He was still great, but he's so much more refined in his offensive game, despite the knee injuries. He has always come back better. At some point, you get older. You can't always expect that to happen. But he's 33. There was no structural damage to the knee. It was swellness. I'm hopeful he can still look relatively close by the time he gets back up to speed to where he was at last season. That's all they need. They get last year's version of Kawhi healthy in a playoff series. Believe this, they can beat anyone in the West in a 7-game series. Because I believe that. With this Clippers team, the way they're built, I think he's chomping at the bit, ready to go and play defense with these guys that love playing defense. This team is structured perfectly for Kawhi. I'm excited. I'm very excited for tomorrow. As long as everything goes well with that assessment in the morning, Kawhi's playing against the Hawks tomorrow night at Intuit Dome. I hope to see you guys there. Pre-game show back here at 6:30. Clippers with Kawhi Leonard taking on the Hawks. I'm Adam Austin. We will talk to you then.